So how is everybody doing? I am in another coloring book by Alan Kosky. This one is book 6, Birds. And we will eventually do a flip through on this. I am using Polychromos. I have number 184. This is dark Naples ochre, so a yellowish color. Then I have, let's see, number 183, and this is light yellow ochre. So it has just a touch of brown in it, barely, okay, just a touch. And that leads us to the next color, which is the light, I'm telling you, it's just so bright. 182. And it's brown ochre. So this is a brown with a touch of yellow in it. Then we go to number 178. This is nougat. All right. So it's like a light brown. Then we've got our medium to dark brown, which is number 280. It's actually burnt umber. And then our last color that I pulled is sepia. It's dark sepia, 175. Okay, so essentially a light, medium, dark in the yellows, and then a light, medium, dark in the browns. Put them all together. All right, so you've got your colors. Now, what I did here was took my lightest shade and went over this, and then came back in with my second shade and started going in the little V areas, and then the third shade and finished up just in the deepest areas. Same thing here, and I think I had just started this. So again, just come in with this color, go all over, and then I did the same thing here, the lightest shade, and just go all over. I went over the areas that were the lightest. Okay, I could have gone ahead and gone over these too, because some of these are really light, and it's not going to matter so much how neat I am, because when I come back in the end and start blending, that is going to take care of a multitude of things. Okay, so I'm just going to skip around here because I don't want all of these to look the same. I do want them to be different. I don't want any specific pattern in there. It's just me, just the way I am. Now I'm going to my second one, and I'm going to come in up here, and I'm just going to start coming in right next to that eye. Come all the way around here, and then right here underneath this line, I'm going to come in. It's not a huge difference. So I'm going to do this side. Can you see the difference in just this and this? Okay, I'm going to grab that third color. Now what if I do this? Now are you starting to see a little bit of difference between this and this? So sometimes it's just that little bit of extra that you tuck into those little spaces that just really, really can make a difference. We could color it just flat like this, but it's just so much more interesting to the viewer if you'll come in and do a little bit of extra. Somebody came in the other day and saw all my pencils and all my books, and I only have a shelf and a half of books over there, but she looked and she said, "What will you ever do with all of those if you ever get them all finished?" I said, well, a lot of my books, I don't tear the pages out because they are story books, a lot of them. Like, I have a lot of books that are fairy tales and things like that. My hope is that Evie will like it when I sit down and read them to her. Okay? Right now, she just loves for me to sit down and let her pick colors and to watch me color. And then I encourage her to color in her books. And she doesn't know it yet, but I have bought her a new book. It's it's Alice in Wonderland, but it's the bakery cartoon that she likes. So, and it's got some activities in it. And now that she's writing her own name and everything, that's good. She is 3.5. I checked the other day. She is right at my waist. So I am about 5'5", 5'5.5", and she comes right up to my waist. So if that lets you know size at all, I've got my second yellow, and I'm just doing anywhere where it overlaps. Okay, so through here, under here, under these lines, this one overlaps, this one. We'll just do a few of these in case we don't get to everything. In-laws, they are doing fine. Hubby had to make a run out there again today for something that they just had to have, and they did. They needed it, so he took care of that. I'm actually, let me see something. I think I'm actually going to color these with this medium, because I am going to want this body darker and not as much light as I have on that face. Okay, and you can see how I'm just getting this in here. I am not being careful in the slightest. One reason why is because I know all of this is going to be shades of yellows and browns, and that the colors to come yet will cover up anywhere where I color outside the lines. Okay, so I'm not worried about that. And do this the same way. I am not going to sit and do all of that because I don't want to run out of time before I fill in some of the rest of this. Now we can look and see this line right here. Everything underneath that is under. So we can automatically take our first brown and put in the shadow right under there. Well, I got a text a while ago from my daughter. It's been a long time since we've mentioned Waybean. He came to the States, gosh, before my mom passed, years ago. And he was here for a while and stayed with us, got his apartment, moved, went to college, got 2 master's degrees. He's smart as a whip. Then he moved to Canada, because if he lives there for 3 years, he can apply for citizenship. And then he went back to China for a while, and he's been gone for, oh goodness, I don't know how long. Well, anyway, he's back. He's back in Canada now, and he actually has called us mom and dad before. That happens with quite a few people that pass through here that are younger, and that's okay. We're good with that. But so anyway, I was on messaging him tonight on Facebook because he is back in Canada. So I get to see pictures of his girlfriend, their long-distance relationship. He's hoping that she'll get to come for a visit or something soon and that we can meet her. We've got to update those passports, though. And so anyway, we chatted for a while, so that was fun. I was just thrilled to hear that he was back. He's going to... The plan is to stay for another 2 years so that he can get his dual citizenship between China and Canada. And then after that, the hope is that he will bounce back and forth between the two. But he will, as long as his parents are alive, because they are he says they're a little older. Well, they're just a smidge older than we are, I think. So it's not like they're like Granny or anything. So he does want to spend some time back in China with them while they're still around. And then he's got a sister that's still over there too. But anyway, so we just talked for a while, chatted, got caught up, talked about different things. Yesterday was a bad day for me. My cough was back. And thank goodness it was already on the schedule for me to go to the ENT yesterday. Yeah, I wasn't going to do all this. Okay, let's go to the next shade. So anyway, I'm going to do just these deepest points. See how that pushes that even further up in there? That's what I'm after. So anyway, we went back. She scoped me again. She said, yeah, I don't know. So there's another kind of reflux that doesn't show up on everything. So she's sending me out to a GI specialist. So I've got to have more tests done. They're going to see what's going on. I'm going in end of July. This is end of June. That's how far ahead I am on my videos right now. But I never know what's coming up, so I want to stay a little bit ahead. So anyway, I've got a hernia that I know needs to be fixed, and that might be causing some of my problems. So anyway, just pray for me as I try to figure things out. But yeah, I'll have allergy tests done sometime mid to end June and see what I'm allergic to. See if we can figure out what's causing some of this hacking that I've got. It's not as bad in the evening. But anyway, I am seeing a specialist and getting that taken care of. So now I'm going to come in with this color. So this was my third of the yellows. And I'm just going to start coloring all this in. I'm not doing each one of these things as a separate little piece. I am not that kind of colorist, unless it's a picture where it warrants being that way. Let's go ahead and do this too. See, I just went back and picked that up. I can pick up anything along the way that I want, or go back and pick it up. I haven't said it in a while, but your picture is not finished until you say it's finished. It's not finished until you never ever go back to it. Then you can claim it's finished. So, yeah, this book is by the same author or illustrator, whatever you want to call him, that did the book with the fairies. So yeah, I do like it. The birds do repeat some, but they repeat in different ways. So there's either different kinds of, they're just not repeated. Like if there's another owl, it's not sitting just like this, and it's not this owl, it's just a different owl. So there are quite a few parrots in the book. So if you like parrots, you're going to like the book. If you like hummingbirds, there's quite a few hummingbirds in here. And I will probably do a hummingbird for us at some point. Now see, I don't see the line right here anymore, but there is one here, and there is one here. So I'm going to make one. See? It just looks more natural. And I'm going to make one over here somewhere. I think I'm going to make one like right here. So see how easy you can just add a line? Didn't even have to go get a pen and draw it in black or anything like that. Just added the line. Just got it in there. Okay, so moving right along. I will come back in with this and just do a little bit more here. In fact, something I do sometimes I'll go back even one color before. Look at that, how it yellows it up. And it really helps it to look like it belongs with the rest of the picture. So anytime you need to yellow something, or if you've got something going on in orange, and let's say you've got too much yellow going on, add some orange. Or if you're doing it in orange and you've got it too red, go in and add some yellow to the red and it'll knock it back to some oranges. There, I do like that better. Okay, and then you just keep working your way down, okay? And yes, this picture is going to take some time. So I'm going to come in again with my last of my yellows, and I'm going to do some here. I am going to get darker as I go down the page and as I get over by this side. Okay, that's what's going to give this guy or girl just a little bit more depth. Okay, so just popping in here and doing some of this. And you can see I am not being real careful. This is one of those pages that you just don't have to be picky on. And then I'm going to skip a few. And that way I can start some of the dark right here. I won't put too much of the dark up here though. Just a few. And then the darks will all be down in here for sure. Okay, so then my next shade, and I'm going to come in and do up underneath. Okay, you know, sometimes I say it's going to look worse before it looks better. Now see, I'm going darker right here on these yellows because I want that to look like it's wrapped around. I'm also going to go darker down this side because I want them to look like they're tucked underneath. Yeah, this is one of those pages that may look a little bit worse before it looks better, but it will be okay in the end. So now I'm just going under everything, whatever it goes under. Okay, we're just going to keep going. Okay, then I'm going to come back with the color before that because it definitely needs some blending now. This is where you could use a colorless blender if that's what you're into using. Just use it right in there. Yeah, I find I don't cough as much if I don't talk quite as much, so sorry. Yeah, as I clear my throat. Okay, now I'm going to come in with the next brown. This is where we're going to start getting a little darker, so use a lighter touch to start with. Okay, this is all those others. I don't want to get it so dark that I can't see where my lines are. Okay, and you're going to do the same thing down here. It's going to be lighter and then a little darker and then darker and then darkest up in here. Okay, let's get all this. And see, I don't have to stay in the lines on this. I can just keep going right up through here. I just like it when I do an owl and it's got all these different areas. I like to do lots of different color. Now, could I have done the whole thing in one color and then gone under each one in a darker shade? Yes, definitely. Nothing wrong with that in the world. Nothing at all. I just didn't. Okay. Okay, now my next shade is going to be used for going in the little areas. Okay. And just blend that out as best you can. If you need to come back with your blender, do that. See, and here's where I'm going to bring a little bit of the dark down this edge here. Whoops, I'll have to erase that later. And it just makes it look a little bit more rounded. How are we time-wise? 21, not bad. Yeah, I'm actually leaning over the table to do this tonight. It is night right now, yeah. Just sometimes easier for me to do this in the evenings. If you can't see all your lines, fudge them. Make them up. Just put some in. It's going to be okay. And I will probably come back through and blend all of this again. Okay? Now, I'm going to come in. This is all already done in the lightest shade of that yellow. So now I'm just coming up some with the next shade. I'm leaving the lightest just at that bottom edge. Okay? Then the next shade. Are y'all understanding what I'm doing here? Just getting darker as it comes up in here. Gets darker as it comes up because it's tucked underneath other areas. See, that's tucked underneath this one. I could even do right there a little bit. Okay, next pencil. Let's go again. Yeah, this room for some reason has been getting very hot in the evenings. Maybe it's because we've got 100-degree weather here in Texas, but I don't know what the deal is. I've got the fan on, but I'm thinking I'm going to have to start turning that fan up higher. It's just too hot back here. I'm already sweaty. Not that you needed to know that. Okay, so see how that graduates from light to dark, light to dark. And then if I wanted it darker, I could pull that darkest color and just do right up in here, right here. See how that pushed that to the back? Okay. Just push those back in there. Okay, and then this area, I missed it. So because it's in the back already, I'm going to start out with this color, and then top and bottom, where it's a little bit hidden there. And then the top here. And then I'll come in with the darkest. And go like that. Okay, does that help? Now what I'm going to do, and I'm actually going to take my yellow to do this, is I'm going to come through and just cover it all in this yellow. Why? taking one color and doing this blending will kind of give it a uniformity. Okay, if you've got yellow in one thing and then it's in all the rest too, it just makes it more cohesive. And I'm also blending at the same time. But see how that looks kind of dark? Now once I do this, it's changed the shade on it. Quite literally changed the color. And to me it's just a little bit more pleasing to the eye. I can do the same thing down here. Just add some of this yellow over the top. And I did use my lightest of the yellows. Okay, so I don't know how it looks through the camera to you. It's looking pretty good to me. I've got to do all this yet. Now, on the color wheel, opposite of yellow is purple. So, let me grab a color wheel right here. Evie didn't run off with it. She knows it's Grandma's. Okay, so I know opposite of yellow is purple. This has got the yellows in it. I know there's going to be green leaves, so then opposite of green is this fuchsia. So I am going to use the purple and the fuchsia for the flowers, and then the greens for all the leaves. And that way I know everything's going to look okay together. All right? If you have questions on this, pop them down below. I'll see what I can do about answering them. Next time I might do that divider that we had talked about to hold pencils, the dishwasher basket, or I may go ahead and finish off with this book, doing a hummingbird and a flip through, and then doing that container. I'm not sure. Depends on how I feel at the time. So anyway, I appreciate y'all being here. And it's very definitely time for me to sign off. And I will see y'all back in a few more days. Okay, bye-bye.